I used to struggle with low self-esteem and low self-worth for a lot of my life, mainly because I'm a pretty short guy, and this insecurity of my height plagued me through a lot of my life, through my teens and my 20s. But that completely changed about 2.5 years ago when I went through my self-transformation, and now I experience a level of confidence and self-worth that I really didn't think was possible. And it's all due to the concepts that I share with you in this video. So make sure you watch this video through its entirety so you have a full understanding of exactly what I did so you can apply this in your own life. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. Later on in this video, I'm going to get into the deeper internal work that must be done. But first, we have to create a strong foundation in our lifestyle habits. What I mean by this is there are 3 things that you have to prioritize, and I'll get to why that is, but we have to create the strong foundation that we can build everything else upon. These 3 things that I'm going to share about on the surface might seem like it will help only your physical health, which is very true. It is definitely going to help your physical health, which is a great thing. But more and more research today is coming out about how these things help your mental health as well. And that's why this is so exciting to me, is because through these things I'm going to be talking about, you're going to create a new baseline, not only for your physical health, but also for your mental health. A lot of the things that you might be struggling with, whether it's low self-esteem, depression, anxiety, will be alleviated through these 3 things that I'm going to be talking about in this first part of the video. The 3 things are, and this is nothing new, eating healthy, exercising daily, and prioritizing good sleep. Now, I'm going to break down each one of these very briefly. I don't want to get too far into each of these because I know there's a plethora of information on the internet. The basics of eating healthy is eliminating foods that are really bad for you. And this is basically just processed foods. So anything with a lot of seed oils, anything that's basically made in a factory that doesn't have real natural ingredients in it, eliminate that. That's so bad for your body. Over and over again, the research is coming out about how these foods lead to disease, especially these seed oils that are just super bad for you, like soy oil, sunflower seed oil, grapeseed oil, canola oil. These oils are just really, really bad for your body. They weren't even meant to be consumed by humans, really. I don't care what kind of diet you're on, or even if you're not on a diet, if you're a vegetarian or a carnivore or whatever, do whatever works for your body, but eliminate processed foods and eliminate any kind of refined sugars. These are also really bad for you. If you can do those 2 things, I will guarantee you will see a dramatic increase in your mental health and your physical health as well. Let's move on to exercise. Again, I don't care what kind of exercise you do. There's so much different exercises out there. Do whatever works for you. All that matters is move your body for about 20 to 30 minutes a day. Get the blood flowing. You can do whatever you like, whether that's weightlifting or dancing or stretching, whatever it takes to just move your body. We're in these bodies and they're meant to be utilized and moved around. And if we don't do anything, we sit all day or lie down all day, then we basically eliminate this whole plethora of benefits that our body really has. Let's talk about sleep, because this is what I struggle with the most out of these 3 things. The research is really, really coming out about how important sleep is for every aspect of your mental and physical health. It's so, so important. What I want you to do is start rethinking what sleep is and how we go about sleep. What most people do, me included in the past, was think of sleep as just this thing that happens at the end of the night. We don't give much thought about how we can make it better. We don't give much thought about planning it as an event. It's just, eventually I'll finally fall asleep, maybe after watching some TV, and you kind of hope for the best kind of sleep. I want you to stop thinking about sleep in those terms and start prioritizing sleep as a huge, big event in and of itself. The easiest way you can do this, and again, there's so much information, but for me is 2 things. Make your room as dark as possible. Whenever I sleep in a hotel with blackout curtains. I always get the best sleep, and there's a lot of research why this is. Even a little bit of light can kind of ruin our sleep. So make your room as dark as possible, or maybe invest in some kind of sleeping mask where your eyes are in total darkness. And the other thing, which I will say it is hard to do, but it makes such a difference, is put away any kind of screen at least an hour before sleep. Get off your computer, get off your phone, put all those blue light screens away, and do something that doesn't involve screens, whether that's just breathing or having a conversation with someone or listening to some kind of easygoing music, whatever that is for you, and make that a habit, because you'll see drastic change in your sleep hygiene and you'll get in really, really good sleep. So those three things: eat healthy, exercise well, prioritize your sleep. This will create a new baseline for you and your mental health. And these are lifestyle changes, lifestyle habits that you have to implement. This isn't just a period of your life where you're focusing on your mental health. No. These are changes to your lifestyle that you have to make for the rest of your life. And by doing so, you are creating just the best possible internal, your mental health and your emotional health, internal environment, and external as well. Now that we've covered the bases of having a strong foundation in your lifestyle habits, let's go into more of the internal work that will really, really change things for your self-worth and your self-confidence. What I've learned as a result of my own personal healing journey and self-transformation journey is that it's less of trying to increase your self-confidence. You know, there's so much information about increase your self-confidence, have higher self-confidence. I think it's less about that and more about eliminating the blocks that are getting in your way of having this naturally high self-confidence. Because I believe that our natural state, when we get rid of all the blocks and the old programming, is one of just lovingness and high self-confidence and just high self-worth. What I recommend is pick your biggest block, your biggest internal block. And usually what that means is, what's the most painful thing you're holding on to in terms of your self-confidence or your insecurity? For me, for the longest time, it was my height. Whatever is that thing that really triggering insecurity, where you hear, if you hear someone talk about it, or you see someone who maybe exhibits the opposite of what you think you have, what is that thing? Let's get really honest and put that, get that out of the subconscious and put it in plain sight, so it's not this fear anymore. Let's look at it objectively. Now the idea is, once we know this one thing, we don't want to make it too complicated, just one thing at a time, that we want to heal, we are going to commit to about 10 to 15 minutes daily. That's all it takes, just 10 to 15 minutes daily to actively heal this part of us. And then we can move on to the next thing. I will give you a basic framework for how to heal, and even a specific technique I'll get into if you need a specific technique. Now, the basic idea is, the first part is you want to extract this part of you from the subconscious, from the shadows. Because usually what happens is there's an insecurity with us, and it's secretly running our life. Even if we choose not to look at it, it's secretly running our life from our subconscious or from our shadows. So we want to extract it. We want to put it in the forefront of our conscious mind, so it's there. It's not this scary thing that we're hiding from anymore. It's right there, and we're choosing to look at it objectively. Usually what that means is just writing it down somewhere, telling yourself out loud, this is what I want to work on. I no longer want to be insecure about blank. Once we do that, we want to look at it objectively. We want to stop looking at it through our mind, through our subconscious mind, our subjective mind is so programmed and biased. Let's start looking at it objectively. And when we look at it objectively, we can start questioning it. You can do this through journaling, through just an internal dialogue with yourself, or in deep meditation. But question where this insecurity came from. What are the events that led to you to become insecure? What does it need from you to heal? You will be surprised by the answers that you get when you ask these powerful questions. And as you engage in this dialogue, more and more natural questions will come up for you to continue questioning and challenging this part of your internal self, this insecurity. Now, at some point when you do this kind of work, when you start challenging and questioning these parts of you, there will be an emotional release. And so the last part of healing yourself is to allow this emotional release to happen. Do not suppress it, because this is where you get rid of all that stuff that's been stored inside you, that energetic charge. So whether you need to cry or you need to dance, it's going to affect different people differently. Allow it to happen. Allow that releasage of energy from that stored thing, that stored insecurity that's been inside you so long. Allow that to happen, because that's how it gets out of your body. That's how you detox yourself from that insecurity. We want to continue this little process over and over again every day until one day it's like, oh, that insecurity isn't even there anymore. That emotional charge isn't really there anymore. And then we can go on to the next thing that's bothering us. Once you get better at this, you'll see the healing process happens a lot faster each and every time. Now, if you want a specific technique, I will give you a specific technique. It's the 3-step technique. This is what I used in my own personal self-transformation journey that's been so powerful. It's a technique I use to this day. I have a whole PDF, a very short PDF, but very specific, with specific instructions and examples, and even a diagram and a illustration on how to do this. There's a link down below. It's called the 3-step technique. It's completely free, so you can download it. So if you need somewhere to start or you need a specific technique, I recommend downloading that PDF. It's life-changing. It was life-changing for me. Now, up to this point, we've covered the lifestyle changes that you need to make on the outside. We've covered the internal work that you can do on healing your insecurities. And there's a missing piece to this. It will come as a result of doing this work, but that missing piece is creating a beautiful and sacred relationship with yourself. You are the only person in here. You are the only person that has to live with yourself. There's no one else that has to do that but yourself. You can either decide to create your internal relationship with yourself a living hell, or you can make it a really beautiful place to be. Because no matter what happens on the outside, no matter what kind of external circumstances happen, you are still there. You are the one experiencing yourself. Now, how you do this is just by continuing to build this internal dialogue with yourself, but do it with the utmost compassion for yourself. Do it with the intention of not being judgmental, but the intention of healing yourself, of understanding yourself, and building this sacred relationship with yourself. As long as that is your intention in this work, you will notice yourself becoming more and more comfortable with the person that you are. You will have self-acceptance for yourself because you understand yourself so well. And not only that, you had the guts to go within and look at your most painful stuff, which most people don't do. And the natural result of that is self-confidence. You have this confidence because you've looked at the hardest stuff and you are willing to put it out there in the open and work with it. And now you have compassion for yourself. And when you have compassion for yourself, you have love for yourself. And when you have love for yourself, you can now start spreading that to other people. You can start being more and more compassionate to others who are also struggling. And that's the real beauty here of this kind of work. This is a lifelong journey. This isn't something that you just dedicate a period of your life to. This is lifelong. But when you start doing this with the intentionality of building the sacred union with yourself, life will be different. You will live life at a more elevated state, and you will just be attracting the best kind of stuff, the best people. You will notice a significant change in your life. Whether this work is worth it is up to you. For me, it's well worth it because I'm the only one living here, and I might as well make it the best possible internal environment that I can. But that's a decision that you have to make for yourself. These are the 3 concepts in brief that have helped me transform into the person that I am today, a person who used to struggle with insecurity and low self-confidence and low self-worth, someone who is so happy with himself and gets to share that love and compassion with everyone else around him. And you can have the same for yourself as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it brought you value. And if you did like this video, then I recommend checking out this other video I did on my own personal journey of how I overcame low self-esteem and went into self-confidence. This video is coming up next, so make sure you watch that one, and I'll see you in the next video.